We've been doing a lot with Real Illusion, the character creator, and the new Headshot 2. As I mentioned, I'm working on a virtual production project that's based, or at least inspired, by Dungeons and Dragons. I'm an old-time version 1 player, and I've got stories that I want to tell that fit within the universe of Dungeons and Dragons type game stuff. So one of the characters that we need for our virtual production that we're working on is a Tabaxi, specifically a Tabaxi female thief. She plays kind of a central role in the storytelling that we're doing with this project. That's hard to do. If we did it in Blender or Maya, we could expect to spend weeks at this, but we've found some shortcuts, and I'm going to share those shortcuts with you right now. But before I get started, make sure you hit like or subscribe to pay the class fee. Okay, so here we are. I've already loaded a standard character female for the project and loaded some armor on it. I bought the adventurer armor. They had a sale on Real Illusion. They had some great leathers for doing this, and so I went ahead and dressed her. But we need to get that head looking more like a Tabaxi would. So I'm moving over to Headshot. I started out working with Stable Diffusion, started generating lots of images with Stable Diffusion that were based upon the Dungeons and Diffusion model, and none of them were recognizing correctly. So my son had the inspiration to head over to Hero Forge and look at some of their characters. We found some pretty good Tabaxi characters. Now, this is not going to take us all the way. Currently, Character Creator does not have a fur option for what we're creating. It also limits us on what we can do on the ears. But we can finish those parts of it in Blender. So let's see what this generates. And there we go. As you can see, the character has been transformed. Much more cat-like. I still need to do a little more work to it. I feel like it's not quite what I want for the head, but it's very close to what we're shooting for. One of the problems that I found when I'm importing this particular image, this is not my first time on doing this, was that the eyes do come in as makeup instead of true eyes. So we are going to need to go over to content and put in some better eyes for the character. And we got some pretty good eyes to select from. I'm leaning for a blue for this particular character. So we'll just go with that, and we'll tell it to replace it. And as you can see, the character's already dressed and looking pretty good for where I want to go with it before we jump over to the Blender to fix some different things. We do have a lot of controls to get it a little bit closer to what we want. For example, I can go over here to ears, and okay, let's make the earlobe scale. Let's bring that in. And that's with the Headshot ear settings. There's another set of ear settings that you can work off of for the main head, and which gives you more of an elf kind of ear. So you can see that's looking pretty cool. And there we go. Of course, we got tons of hair. I bought a couple of different hair packs so that I could have more options for my characters. Let's go down to okay, well, we'll come back and play with the hair some more. So you can see I've got a basic Tabaxi here that I can now go ahead and work on getting fur in onto. The facial motions work very well. Let's pull her out a little bit. And she's already rigged, ready to animate. Can put a basic idle on the character so that she can move around. All that's really left for me to do is take her into Blender, put some fur on, or at least a texture that looks a little more fur-like for our virtual production, and get the hair right and shift the ears up so that they're higher on her head. To be honest, we probably cut at least a week or 2 weeks of production or of creating the model, and this character's nearly ready to go. A few more days on it and we're ready. So if you want to see the process that we used on working in Blender to add fur, to move the hairs up, and what all was entailed to create our Tabaxi thief, then let me know in the comments below. Tell me what you'd like to see, or is there another type of character that you would like to see us create? We want to know about it. We are getting ready to go into full production on part 1 of our series that is based in the DnD multiverse. So tell us what you'd like to see on this. Have a great day.